Look, the whole everything that happened to you has changed my completely kind of idea of the justice system. You know, like I'm a lot more afraid of it, especially in other states. I'm kind of very happy that I'm in LA where they don't give a crap about little things.
Yeah. We could talk more about that too, about how it's made us appreciate some of the ultra left-wing district attorneys that we've skewered in past videos sometimes because, maybe we've gotten away with a lot of stuff in videos out here because of them and because of our very permissive attitude toward crime here. So, I mean, it's not great if you're trying to raise a family, but if you're a jack-off YouTuber like you and I, it's kind of a good thing.
It's kind of a great thing.
Right, Fez?
That's right.
Thank you. I need a contribution from Fez every now and then.
And a pillow. There was no pillow.
No pillow. I was using a towel.
So were you fairly confident that I was going to be able to get you out the next day?
I was 50-50. But when the door opened and an officer strolled in, I was like, okay, this is it. And he didn't know my name was scrawled probably hastily on some paperwork. And he said, Mule? And I was like, Mullen? And he's like, yeah, Mullen, you're out of here.
Whew.
Dude, the relief. Just the relief. I knew the issue wasn't over. I knew there was going to be more stuff I had to do.
Right.
But just the freedom to walk out of the jail and at least see the sky again.
Yeah.
Because I guess they can only go outside once a week to play basketball. So you're mostly indoors there.
Indoors, no sunlight.
Yeah, I get. This is what I'm told. I know I didn't experience it firsthand, but that's what somebody said. So just being out was such a relief. And I was like, I know this isn't resolved, but the resolution seems far enough away. I have until Monday to just be a free man.
Right.
And be able to sleep on a nice hotel bed and take showers in private.
And we needed to do 2 videos, and we still had 2 videos to film.
Oh, yes.
The process of getting him out was a little terrifying because there was no way to get in contact with anyone when he went to jail. Every law office was closed. Then I start kind of asking locals questions, because seemed like there was a lot of places we didn't have reception in Virginia, in Tennessee. And what we ended up finding out is asking people, the locals, is the best way to go in those states. So I asked 2 locals who in the Burger King, and they're like, dude, man, don't use any lawyers around here, man. And my buddy, he paid $10,000 and then he's in the jail for 3 years for a minor offense, man. You got to get somebody in another county. So I'm starting like, what the fuck? Where are, I'm freaking out. Like, this is insane. Like, this could be worst case scenario. This is going to end up being one of the craziest stories ever. Then our boy, Dylan, he starts talking to his brother from Burger King.
Talks to Robbie, who was locked up with me.
Gives us a lawyer in town who was one of the top Google options for the town.
Yeah.
So obviously, we left Nico, got a little tipsy, of course. Very, very stressed out at night, got tipsy.
Nico got hammered in response to me getting locked up.
Nico got so blacked. He didn't even remember talking to anybody at Burger King. It was wild. And he was like shaking the locals' hands. Anyway, he's blacked. So every law office in town was opening at 8 a.m. So my goal was I'm going to get up before 8 a.m. and start making phone calls right at like 7:45. And literally the guy's card that we got from Robbie in jail was the first phone call, and I got talked to the receptionist. So I woke up the next morning early, and I called the guy that we were recommended. The receptionist put me through to him. He wasn't in the office, but he was out working on a sailboat.
And they when they knew that we had money to pay,
yes,
they were very eager to help, because probably a lot of people in counties like that call up and they don't.
Right.
They're not going to be able to compensate the attorney.
Right.
But when they found out that, like, hey, we need serious representation and we have money to pay for it, we got through pretty easily to the attorney.
And the good thing about the local guy, which of course I spoke to Danny's father on the phone the night before, and he was just telling me how, the system works out. If you can get a local guy that knows people, that's a lot more advantageous to you.
Yeah.
So this guy made a phone call or 2, and there was bond set. There was a bail was set.
So my attorney set the bond. He got the bond set. That's great. Yeah. Okay, that was the first part of getting out.
That was the first part of getting out. As soon as you had that, then it was a. Can we talk about how much it was? I think that might have been in the article. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I think it did say bond was $5,000.
Yeah. So it was $5,000, which if you ever know anybody that's been arrested, that's a pretty high bond, right? I mean.
I don't know. I mean, I see so many celebrities get arrested in the LA Times and their bond is like $200,000 or something like that. So
Yeah, I thought it would be more actually.
yeah.
If people don't know how a bail bondsman work, though, it was a really cool experience for me in a way because I learned everything about the system and how it all works. And Nico was thinking that like you had to pay the bond.
I kind of thought that too.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
had to
people
Google
think,
how it worked before I got there.
a lot of people think you have to pay the bond, but how it works is if you go to a bail bondsman, or if you have $5,000, let's say if you had $5,000 cash, right? Like if I had it on me or something, I could give it to the court or could give it to the courthouse, I guess, or whoever
jail.
Yeah, I think the jail, whatever, and then they release him, and then they give it back to you when he attends, court. But, we went through a bail bondsman and said, which was at the recommendation of your father, he was like, yeah, just go to the bail bondsman. And then they get, because he was out of state, it was 15%, which is like $800 that Danny ended up having to pay. So then they give the money to the court and then they get it back when he attends.
The bail bond people get it back.
Yeah, the bail bond people get it back when you attend court. So that was in set. And then it was very quick after that. I think we ended up getting you out at like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was off to the races, man. And then you want to talk about the remainder of that, or should we go into like what happened on this trip? Because there's a lot of crazy stuff.
I said we'd take it chronological through the trip a little bit because I got out of jail, and again, it was one of the sweeter moments in recent memory. Just the feeling of being free after not being sure at all when you're going to get out of a cell with a guy who's in there on drug charges, right, Fez? Yeah, pick up that mic. Say something in response.
Yes.
Thank you. So I walk out. Our first meal is Subway. I give Nico my order, and he does something neeksy to it. He hasn't put some fucking condiment on it or some orange, and it just tastes like shit. So that kind of ruins my.
Yeah.
Fucking Neeks, dude.
Neeks, dude. He was just like freaking out. Like, oh, I don't want you to be stressed. I don't want you to be stressed.
It's just Nico. He insists he eats clean on the road, but when he he insists he eats clean at home. But when he's on the road, he has a diet a few pegs below Fez's.
Yeah, he drinks Coca-Cola. He eats fried food everywhere we go. Fries and a burger. He eats. He's got a lot of mayo on his sandwiches.
A lot. It tasted like he put mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup. Yeah, ketchup on the Subway sandwiches. And can you put some sugar on it too? It was just this wet, slimy, sweet.
Yeah.
And so that kind of killed my experience.